And now we're taking you straight for a piece of political history that's playing out live in the beautiful city of Bhubaneswar, the capital city of Odisha, which after a quarter century of Naveen Patnaik Raj under the Biju Janata Dal is now welcoming its first ever BJP government. The BJP, which has swept the assembly elections in Odisha, which happened along with the Lok Sabha election, is being sworn in today with Mohan Majhi, a tribal leader and multiple-time MLA from Keonjhar in Odisha, shortly to be sworn in as the first ever BJP Chief Minister in the state of Odisha. Big crowd there for the swearing-in ceremony in Bhubaneswar. The picture on your left, of course, of Prime Minister Modi being welcomed where he landed a short while ago in Bhubaneswar by the man who is all set to be sworn in as the first BJP Chief Minister of the state of Odisha. A quarter century of Naveen Raj has ended. Naveen Patnaik has been extremely gracious in his relinquishment of duties as the Chief Minister. He has welcomed the new government. He has had very positive things to say about those who've defeated him at the sweepstakes, both in the Lok Sabha as well as in the Assembly. And that is the reason why a new BJP government is coming to power on its own full strength in Odisha. Remember, the BJP has in the past been in coalition with the BJD. They split up after many years, and for the last over a decade, it has been only the BJD, Naveen Patnaik Raj in Odisha. And now for the first time, a piece of political history in the state of Odisha with the first ever BJP government. Joining me from the ground in Bhubaneswar is India Today's Hrithik Mondal, also Indrajit Kundu, who's been tracking Eastern India for us for a very long time and has been looking at all these developments in Odisha as well. Hrithik, quickly coming to you first. History playing out in Bhubaneswar today. The first ever BJP Chief Minister being sworn in. The BJP has been part of governments in Odisha in the past, but it has always been Naveen Raj in the state. Now it's the BJP coming to power on its own. First ever Chief Minister from the BJP about to be sworn in, Hrithik.
Definitely, undoubtedly, the Odisha has decided to head to another historical journey today as, it is ending the Naveen Raj and headed to the Bharatiya Janata Party. Bharatiya Janata Party has owned this state, this assembly election with a thumping majority. But what we can see today at this particular Janata Maidan over here, which is at the epicenter of Bhubaneswar city, which is known as the Temple City of India. And just a short while from now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be reaching to this swearing-in ceremony. But what we can see that Naveen Babu, who ruled the state, who governed the states for a long decade, he also has arrived over here. And initially, before this oath-taking ceremony, we did see that Mohan Charan Majhi, four-time MLA, who is going to take oath today as the next Chief Minister of Odisha, headed to Naveen Nivas, which is the residence of Naveen Patnaik, and met him, and he spent at least 12 to 15 minutes over there, and he requested Naveen Patnaik personally to be at this historic event, and which is why we can see that Naveen Patnaik has already arrived over here. There are a lot of other guests who are among the dignitaries today at the dais, among them UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, Assam Chief Minister Hemant Biswa Sarma, Union Minister Rajnath Singh, Amit Shah has already arrived. What we can see, that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is arriving and he is greeting the people of Odisha today. This is that as I speak, that we can see that people around me, they are cheering and they are clapping, welcoming Prime Minister Narendra Modi at this event. This is going to be a very historic day for Odisha itself, what we are given to understand.
Very important day, Hrithik. Thanks for being with us. Continue to stay with us. Very important day for the Prime Minister himself. Remember, this is a state in which the Prime Minister On stage are both the outgoing Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik as well as the incoming Chief Minister Mohan Charan Majhi. He's a tribal leader, a 4-time MLA from Keonjhar, a person who has been associated with the BJP for a very, very long time, a well-regarded tribal leader with a long record of administration. He is about to be sworn in as the first BJP Chief Minister of Odisha. Prime Minister Modi, of course, was in Andhra Pradesh for that swearing in earlier today. JP Nadda, who is now a cabinet minister for health, Amit Shah, the Home Minister, Rajnath Singh, Nitin Gadkari, Ashwini Vaishnav, the new minister with multiple portfolios, Yogi Adityanath, and several other leaders, Pushkar Dhami from Uttarakhand sitting there at the back, have all come out in full strength because Odisha may not make it to the national headlines in the so-called national media very often. But remember, what you're witnessing live right now on your screens, viewer, is a piece of political history. For the BJP, which has had some mixed results in the 2024 verdict, much to think about, especially in UP and Maharashtra, there is much to smile about for the BJP in places like Odisha and in the south. In Andhra Pradesh, where the swearing in took place earlier today, and now in Odisha, where a very powerful Chief Minister like Naveen Patnaik, his run finally ends with a tsunami victory of sorts by the BJP, of the kind that hasn't been getting the kind of attention perhaps that it ought to. Odisha winning 25 of the 26 seats there.
नियुक्ति आदेश पाठ करिवा निमंते श्रीमान निर्वाचित मुख्यमंत्री नियुक्ति आदेश पाठ करने निमित्त मु आपणकर अनुमति कामना करुछि।
श्री मोहन चरण माझी ईश्वरंक नाम रे शपथ करुअछि जे मु विधि द्वारा प्रतिष्ठित भारतर संविधान प्रति श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखिबी, भारतर सार्वभौमत्व और अखंडता रक्षा करिबी, ओडिशा राज्यर मुख्यमंत्री रूपे मोर कर्तव्य श्रद्धा और शुद्ध अंतरकरण रे निर्वाह करिबी एवं बिना भय बा पक्षपात रे बिना अनुराग बा देश रे सबु प्रकार लोकंक प्रति संविधान और विधि अनुसार न्याय प्रदान करिबी। मु श्री मोहन चरण माझी ईश्वरंक नाम रे शपथ करुअछि जे जो विषय राज्यर मुख्यमंत्री रूपे मोर विचार को अणाजिब बा मते ज्ञात हब ताहाकू एपरी मुख्यमंत्री रूपे मोर कर्तव्यर समुचित निर्वाह निमित्त जेपरी आवश्यक हब तत् भिन्न प्रत्यक्ष बा परोक्ष भावे कौनसी व्यक्ति बा व्यक्ति माननकू जणाइबी नाही बा प्रकट करिबी नाही। धन्यवाद।
श्रीमान मु निर्वाचित मंत्री मानकर नियुक्ति आदेश पाठ करने निमित्त मु आपनकर अनुमति कामना करुछि।
Odisha will also be swearing in its first deputy chief minister, a woman deputy chief minister for the first time in Odisha. Okay, here's your big front page picture in all the Odisha papers tomorrow. Mohan Majhi is the new chief minister of Odisha. He's officially now the first BJP chief minister in Odisha. Okay, the swearing-in ceremony is going to continue with the deputy chief ministers and other ministers to be sworn in. I want to bring in India Today's Indrajit Kundu, who's also looking very closely at Odisha. We'll be talking you through all these pictures in just a moment as they continue to be on your screen live. Let me bring in Indrajit. Indro, big day for the BJP. It has been, not a small victory. It was a big victory. Naveen Patnaik almost completely wiped out at both levels in the Lok Sabha as well as the, Assembly. The BJP, which has had a, relationship with Naveen Patnaik, also means that he has been very gracious about his exit. But this big entry of the BJP. Okay, I'm just coming to you, Indro. Let's just listen to this. I'm coming right back to you.
सबु प्रकार लोकों को प्रति संविधान और विधि अनुसार न्याय करीबी मो कनक वर्धन सिंह ईश्वर को नारे शपथ करुची जे जो विषय राज्यर उप मुख्यमंत्री रूपे मोर विचार को अणाजीव बा मते ज्ञात हेबो ताहाकू एपरी मंत्री रूपे मोर कर्तव्यर समुचित निर्भय निमित्त जेपरी आवश्यक हेबो तथ प्रत्यक्ष व परोक्ष भावे कौन सी व्यक्ति मान को जनैबी नहीं बा प्रकट करीबी नहीं।
You very quickly explain to our viewers, Indro, because you've been looking at Odisha a very long time, why today is so important. First BJP Chief Minister, first woman Deputy Chief Minister of Odisha, the end of an era. Talk us through it, Indro.
Well, absolutely, Shiv. Historic moment for Odisha. Odisha, in its 88-year existence, gets a first BJP government. And the BJP has been the principal opposition party. If you see how significant this is, last time in 2019, the BJP had only won 23 seats. From there to 78, single clean sweep, clean majority for the BJP in Odisha, forming this clean government with a complete majority. It's something which is very unique and historic from Odisha's perspective, because, Naveen Patnaik, and given the fact that he's still there, Naveen Patnaik, he's old, he's frail, but he's somebody who is like a father figure. So his appeal cuts across party lines in Odisha. To have a government by the BJP, despite the presence of Naveen Patnaik in active politics in Odisha, is very, very historic, and it's a major achievement of the BJP, and therefore it's such a big deal. And look at the graciousness of the man, Naveen Patnaik. He's there and he's...
Indro, sorry to interrupt you. I'm coming back to you. I want to talk about Naveen a little bit more, but this is Pravati Parida. She is the new Deputy Chief Minister of Odisha, who's being sworn in right now. She is the first woman to be sworn in as Deputy Chief Minister of Odisha. Let's just listen to her for a few seconds. This is her swearing in. She's just completed first woman Deputy Chief Minister of Odisha. Pravati Parida of the BJP has just been sworn into office. Very, very big piece of history playing out on your screens, viewer. The news in Odisha much more muted than other parts of the country, for various different reasons. But this, believe me, is a political milestone as far as the BJP is concerned. Indro, you were telling us about the graciousness of Naveen Patnaik. He's there on stage. He's known to have a good relationship with all of the people on stage right now.
Absolutely, he's kind of a father figure, somebody who encompasses the values of Odisha, and also, he's respected beyond party lines, and therefore, him coming here, being Naveen Patnaik himself, so cutting across political affiliations, very sober, very genteel, somebody who brings in that, old school charm to Indian politics that's become very rare in the kind of hyper-competitive politics that we are seeing. There is a lot to introspect as far as the BJP is concerned, but this is BJP's moment. The party which was in the past couple of sessions back has been the opposition party, especially the BJP's rise as a principal opposition party. Look, the space that was there for the Congress, they have ceased to exist. And the BJP took over the principal opposition party space in Odisha. They had 23 seats last time in the 147-member assembly. And today they are forming the government with a simple, clean majority. And that speaks volumes. Dharmendra Pradhan was there on the stage. He's a man who's played quite a bit of role as far as the BJP's progress and move ahead in Odisha is concerned. And of course, Manmohan Samal, who is the state president of the BJP right now. Remember, Odisha is a unique state.
Yeah.
And it also has a huge and large tribal population, and that finds its voice in the kind of decision that the BJP has taken. Remember, Shiv, in the last few months, especially the last 2 months of the election, there has been so much of talk about a BJD-BJP alliance, you would know, and VK Pandian, who was the all-in-all bureaucrat turned politician. There was so much talk about him being the BJD heir apparent. He has taken a seat back from politics. He has taken sannyas from politics, and the BJP find itself in a spot of bother. And Naveen Patnaik will have to resurrect the party if he has to. He's already spoken to his MLAs. He's conducted a meeting with them, and despite there were a lot of questions. You remember how the Prime Minister himself had raised doubts about the health of Naveen Patnaik. No matter what kind of political equation you see, the Prime Minister and Naveen Patnaik share a very good personal bonding.
Yes.
And they respect each other. In the political whirlwind that we saw in Odisha this time around, perhaps a little bit of course correction would be required, because the Prime Minister did hit out personally at Naveen Patnaik, which we thought would be rare. But there was also some sense of camaraderie that was very visible. So now that Naveen Patnaik has come and joined this ceremony is very important and unique, because it's a historic time that we are talking about. History being made in several folds. First, a tribal chief minister. Secondly, there are 2 deputy chief ministers that Odisha is getting. And also, one unique factor shift that I could see from this ceremony is that Pradeep Jena, who is the Chief Secretary of Odisha, he is also would be considered then as a long-time Naveen Patnaik loyalist, because, it's difficult for bureaucrats. 24 years, 3 months is the tenure of Naveen Patnaik, one of the longest service chief ministers. So Pradeep Jena, who has been in the Chief Secretary for the past several years, and of course there was this thing about VK Pandian and Pradeep Jena, 2 bureaucrats. So VK Pandian has taken sannyas, and we see Pradeep Jena today as the BJP government swears in. So unique, how things come out and play out in their own, own fashion in Indian politics. Shiv.
Very interesting. I want to go across back to Ritik Mondal on the ground in Bhubaneswar. Ritik, history playing out in front of you, and it's very plain to see the kind of, very dignified, very easy, very respectful body language between all the BJP stalwarts, including, Prime Minister Modi, Amit Shah and others, and Naveen Patnaik, the outgoing Chief Minister. What Indro was telling us, it's BJP Raj that is beginning, but the outgoing Chief Minister is very much part of Odisha history and cannot be forgotten in a hurry. And the BJP also knows that.
It's also an opportunity to witness a wonderful piece of politics today in Bhubaneswar, in which we can see both the outgoing Chief Minister and the incumbent Chief Minister are, sharing dais at a time when a new regime is going to begin over here, as we rightly pointed out that Naveen Patnaik, at this dais in which Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Home Minister Amit Shah and several others, BJP's top leader, are sharing this dais. But what we can see, if you can look around me, that a huge crowd over here. Odisha and Bhubaneswar is waiting, we're eagerly waiting for this day to come, and particularly BJP Karyakartas, they were eagerly waiting for this day to come. we spoke to several Karyakartas and top leaders who belongs to Odisha BJP as well. They told us it was a mammoth task for the party that is happening today, and this is a very interesting cabinet ministry that is going to be governed by the Mohan Charan Majhi, a very prominent tribal leader who belongs to Odisha. He is known as a very good, organizer of the party, which could be the reason, which is why the central leadership chooses him as the chief minister. Amidst the situation, there were several other names. They were cropped up yesterday, but there will be 8 cabinet ministers, 8 cabinet ranked minister. That is Odisha is going to have this time, what we are given to understand at this point in time, and they are going to, as we speak, we can see these are the ministers are taking oath one after another. Among them, Suresh Pujari is a very prominent cabinet minister is taking oath today.
Yes.
And Ravi Nayak, a very known BJP leader, who is also taking oath today. What we can see, that we can see many Karyakartas, they have gathered over here. Please talk to them. अब भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता है इस तरह के पोस्टर्स के साथ यहाँ पर पहुंचे हुए. आज एक ऐतिहासिक दिन है. क्या कहना चाहेंगे, कौन से दिशा की तरफ ओडिशा अब बढ़ने चली है?
जी, मेरा ओडिशा अब नए उभरने वाला है, जिसकी जो मोदी जी ने गारंटी दिया है उसको 5 साल 10 साल में पूरा करेंगे, ये हमारा भरोसा है उन पे.
That's the word, Modi's guarantee. This is the particular thing which every BJP Karyakartas and leader are speaking over here. Let me tell you who will be the next cabinet minister of Odisha government. There are Suresh Pujari, Ravi Nayak, Nityananda Gond, Krishna Chand Patra, and Prithviraj Harichand, and Mukesh Mahaling, and Bibhuti Bhushan Jaina, a very prominent leader of Bharatiya Janata Party over here.
Ritik, we're putting all those names on our screen for our viewers to see, and they've also got these pictures. Over 40 Indian nationals have died, over 30 are injured at the Indian labor camp in Mangaf city of Kuwait. That's the terrible news coming in from the Gulf country. The Indians killed are all workers working at a factory apparently owned by an NRI businessman, but we're still to get a confirmation of that. This was basically a living quarters in the city of Mangaf in Kuwait. Kuwait is a tiny country by itself. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has tweeted that he is deeply shocked by the news of this fire incident in Kuwait City. 40 deaths and over 50 have been hospitalized, he says. India's ambassador has gone to the camp and further information is awaited. He's also expressed his deepest condolences. All of these persons were workers in a factory in Kuwait, and this was the living quarters where a fire broke out early this morning. The fire has been brought under control, but 40 Indians are confirmed among the 45 people who have died in this fire. Over 50 are injured and have currently been put under medical treatment in a hospital. The Indian embassy is on the ground at the hospital and on site, rendering any and all assistance to the injured, as well as to the families of the bereaved who are in India, many of them in Kerala. We are still getting more details on the tragedy itself.
هذا القرار اللي المفروض يطلع من زمان ويتنشطون في البلدية. مع الأسف كان في إهمال من تجار العقارات علشان يعملون مخالفات، وهذه نتيجة المخالفات. اليوم للحين وأنا أكلمكم 41 واحد متوفي. سبب شنو؟ سبب تجار العقارات مع الأسف.
Let's go straight across to India today's Gaurav Savant and Shibi Mall KG joining us live from Thiruvananthapuram. Shibi, let me quickly come to you first. Any further details about where many of these workers are from? It is understood that many of them could be from Kerala. We do know that people from Kerala, make up a large part of the labor and workforce in countries like Kuwait. The ownership of the factory where they worked could also be, by an NRI businessman. Do we know any further details? What are you hearing?
Shiv, the state government is yet to confirm the number of deaths, the number of Malayalis who have died, and also their identities. They have communicated to the External Affairs Ministries what they were telling us when we called them, a while ago. They're saying that they're waiting for the final details, and they're also through the NORCA routes, which is the system in which all the NRIs names and details are registered under the under Kerala government's department. So they're checking through those sources and also waiting for a confirmation from the External Affairs Ministry is what the government was saying. Also, they're saying that it's an NRI businessman from Kerala, identified as KG Abraham, is what the government sources are telling, that the building belonged to him. Most of the employees were from Kerala. One of the deceased have been not officially confirmed, have been identified as a native of Kollam, but that needs to be confirmed officially by government of Kerala. They are also waiting for the details. Deaths in most of the deaths, of course, include Malayalis, but the identities can be confirmed. The figure can be revealed only after the External Affairs Ministry confirm, is what the state government is saying.
Okay, so we're going to wait on that, but information coming in from Shibimol suggests that, many of those who have tragically died in this Kuwait fire could be from Kerala. There's information trickling in about the ownership of the factory as well, which we'll get a confirmation on from both the centre and the state governments. Gaurav Sawant is also tracking this story very closely. Gaurav, we saw those pictures earlier of India's ambassador to Kuwait visiting the hospital where this happened. The External Affairs Minister has expressed shock as well. A deeply distressing story. 40 people killed, and this story is still developing right now.
Shiv, that is true. As of now, the information that we have is 43 people have unfortunately lost their lives. There were 160 people housed in this 6-storied building. The fire started in the kitchen around 6 in the morning and very rapidly spread to the higher floors, and several people who've had injuries either jumped off the higher floors because they couldn't either take the elevator or the staircase down. The staircase was covered in smoke. Some were asphyxiated because of smoke inhalation. Firefighting equipment was apparently found wanting, according to initial information, and authorities in Kuwait are blaming the greed of the owner of the building because it apparently had more number of people living than was sanctioned. That's point one. Point two, of the 160, we are told 43 are feared dead. We are told about 50 are still in hospital, some with smoke inhalation injuries. No information whether they're critical or not as of now. But Shiv, the Indian Embassy in Kuwait has put out an emergency helpline number. It's plus 965 655 05246, and they've asked everyone who wants to know about their loved ones to contact this helpline number. So a helpline number has been given out. Details are being collated. Some injuries may be critical. 43 feared dead of the 160 who were in the building is the information that we have as of now, Shiv.
And we also, Gaurav, heard the Deputy Prime Minister of Kuwait in one of those sound bites from that local report saying, that some kind of violation could have been the reason why this took place, which makes it an even bigger concern for India, given that, thousands of Indian expat workers, work in very similar conditions and live in very similar conditions in Kuwait.
Shiv, you're absolutely right. Of the entire workforce in Kuwait, 30% of that workforce, about 9 lakh, are Indians. You have a 1 million strong Indian diaspora living and working in Kuwait. So that's a huge diaspora. 21% of the population are Indians or people of Indian origin. Their living conditions, at least in this instance, as you heard in that soundbite, yes, a lot. And that is why, Shiv, there's a forensics team. So it wasn't just the firefighters, but along with the firefighters, a team of forensics went on ground and they are carrying out a very detailed investigation. And we would know in some time, perhaps, what led to that devastating fire and how it spread so rapidly.
Okay, stay with me, Gaurav and Shibi. I'm coming back to you. Just wanted to quickly update our viewers that Prime Minister Modi has just put out a statement condoling the deaths in the Kuwait fire tragedy. He says, "My thoughts are with all those who've lost their near and dear ones. I pray that the injured recover at the earliest." The Indian Embassy in Kuwait is closely monitoring the situation and working with the authorities there to assist the affected. Shibi, I want to quickly come to you again. Information still coming in, which is totally normal. A crisis line has been set up in Kuwait for loved ones to be able to get the latest information. Can you update us on what the Kerala government is doing right now? Usually in instances like this, the state government and the centre work together to make sure information is reached to the families at the earliest. Can you update us on what the Pinarayi Vijayan government is doing right now from their end?
Well, Shiv, in Kerala, there is a system called Norca routes under which all the Malayalis living abroad, the NRIs from Kerala, should register before leaving abroad. So they have a list of people who are living abroad, the NRIs from Kerala. So going through that data is one thing that we're understanding. The second thing, they're in close coordination working with the External Affairs Ministry, because the building, as per the government sources, is owned by a Malayali NBTC group, is what we are understanding. What the government sources are telling, in fact, in the building, some of the laborers working in the NBTC's company's supermarket was also staying. There is another information that we're picking up. If the government needs to confirm this, but one of the information is that one of the deaths have been confirmed from Kollam district of Kerala, from Oyur in Kollam. That's one information coming right now, but again, it needs to be confirmed by the government.
Yes.
They are checking through their sources also, because the Malayali diaspora in Gulf is very strong. There are a lot of organizations working in closely with the government. So they are also checking through their sources and in coordination with the Norca routes and the details there. But most importantly, they're saying that the final confirmation should come through External Affairs Ministry, which who are in close contact with the Kuwait government.
Okay, this is very, very crucial for India to make sure that no more lives are endangered. Our Foreign Affairs editor, Geeta Mohan, is also live with us. Geeta, 40 deaths is an absolutely shattering number. We've heard from both the External Affairs Minister, the Kerala government. The Prime Minister has also put out a statement. We do see the Indian ambassador there on the ground in the hospital assessing that situation and extending help. What more is the government doing? What more are you hearing? Is it possible that people could go from here? The reason I'm asking is because, like Gaurav just said, the sheer number of Indian expat workers in Kuwait and in the other Gulf countries is huge. And from time to time, there do come these tragic reminders that their living conditions are far from safe.
That's right. And this by far is one of the most serious incidents that we've really come across. In the recent past, I can't remember of an incident where so many Indians have lost their lives, and so many far more numbers of Indians that we've seen in the past who now are injured and are in hospital. So the government will have to do a lot. The embassy already has started taking action in terms of facilitation, but we'll have to see what kind of facilitation. We're looking at repatriation of mortal remains. We're looking at maybe family members who want to travel from India to Kuwait to be with their loved ones who are in hospital. We could be looking at those who are not very severely injured, who would want to travel back home to be with their families, because they're all workers from the manual labor camps. So they're not white-collar people who have enough in their banks to really be able to travel back and forth. So the government of India will have to facilitate and help them on that front. This is a huge number, so we'll have to see what kind of facilitation that we are looking at. For now, we do know that the government will be facilitating repatriation of mortal remains, identification, informing family members. We do not really know whether all those Indians who've lost their lives there, the families back home, have been informed. There is a very, very smooth process and a system in place in Kerala. I say Kerala, Shiv, because we've just been reporting that most of them who've lost their lives are from Kerala. Most of them who are severely injured are also from Kerala. So they have a system in place. How they're going to process those requests is also something we'll have to wait and see. There's also going to be the need for state-center coordination over here, where the state government will be reaching out to the central government to ensure that these are the requests that are coming in from families. Their loved ones are either affected or are no more.
Yes.
And the center will then have to facilitate that in terms of what they do with the Indian mission. Ambassador Adarsh Paita was in the hospital. We saw visuals of him at the hospital. He took stock of the situation. And again, severely injured, minor injuries. We'll have to see what they really want and how they best can be taken care of. Mortal remains, Shiv, would be something that the government of India will have to ensure are brought back to the country.
Okay, the Indian embassy there is on, working this out on a war footing to make sure that the families get the information they need so they can get the, the mortal remains as quickly as possible, as well as updates on those who are injured. Gaurav, final question to you. India and Kuwait have, healthy, close diplomatic relations. A huge amount of people exchange over, many, many decades. I'm guessing that India can depend on the Kuwait government to get to the bottom of what happened. Am I right?
You're absolutely right. India and Kuwait are very, very close partners. And in fact, all across West Asia, India has extremely warm ties. Of course, with Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, extremely close. With Qatar, very, very close. Also with Kuwait. But in this particular incident, that is exactly why authorities in Kuwait, apart from the firefighters, also have a team of forensics who are examining the building, trying to figure out how did that fire start in the kitchen. It apparently started on one of the lower floors and very rapidly spread through the staircase is the initial information that's coming in to the higher floors, and that is why people could not take the staircase out of that building, and several were asphyxiated, several suffocated to death or had these injuries as they jumped off the building trying to escape the blaze, Shiv.
Track of this story. Shibi is going to be tracking it from Kerala. Gaurav and Geeta will be looking at the government's response. We are not done updating you on this story. We will continue to get you more through Prime Time here in India. And we've got a big update in the Pune Porsche crash case of May 19th, in which an underage driver, son of the Agarwal family in Pune, was driving a Porsche and killed 2 people on the road. That case has gotten much murkier now. Shocking details of the bribe paid by the teenager's family for the blood swap to save him from alcohol in his blood being revealed. Our reporter in Pune has just confirmed that the bribe of 3 lakh rupees, viewer, was paid not at the hospital but on the premises of the Juvenile Justice Board. Let me repeat that shocking fact. The bribe, the money changed hands at the Juvenile Justice Board. It doesn't get more brazen than this. The details of the bribe that was paid on behalf of the Agarwal family to doctors and staff of the Sassoon Hospital who were conducting the medical test, the forensic test on the boy, which finally revealed that he did not have blood alcohol because his blood was switched. That money changed hands. Lakhs of rupees changed hands at the Juvenile Justice Board office. The same Juvenile Justice Board that granted bail to the underage Porsche driver in a matter of minutes, in a matter of just about half an hour, and asked him to write a 300-word essay in order to get that bail. India today, I promised you, would expose the depth of this rot, and layer by layer we have done that. Trouble is mounting for the Agarwal family. The husband and wife, the father and mother of the teenage driver, are in custody till the 14th of this month. But the money changing hands at the Juvenile Justice Board, with CCTV camera footage proving the bribe was paid there, is the new detail that we've got now. Omkar Wable breaking this big update on the Porsche story. Joining us live from Pune. Omkar, a man getting a mysterious call saying help the Agarwals, lands up at the Juvenile Justice Board and gives 3 lakh rupees to a representative, basically a ward boy from the Sassoon Hospital, in order for the blood to be swapped. Amazing. This happened at the Juvenile Justice Board.
Exactly. The Ashfaq Makandar and Amar Gaikwad both were arrested on 4th of June. They both are linked in this whole case, and both are nexus between the transaction. Right now I'm standing in the Juvenile Justice Board premises, where just recently Justice Board has declared that the juvenile, they already extended the remand of juvenile till 25th of June, and he'll be in the observation center for next 14 days again. But interestingly, in this whole news, CCTV footage from the crime branch has seized that the bribe was given in the same premises where I'm standing right now. So police has seized the CCTV footages now, and they are also checking CDR, and they are seizing the call records which was done on the same day. But still question remains same. Who told that Ashfaq Makandar and Amar Gaikwad to go to Sassoon and speak to Tavre and to give bribe and to continue all those transactions which are involved in this Porsche car accident case?
Omkar, the custody of the parents has been extended till 14th of this month. What about the teenager? He's still in the observation home. Uska kya ho gaya? What happens to him? Has any decision been taken on trying him as an adult, etc.?
The police are still building up the case because they are trying to find out different nexus in the whole. Crime branch is still investigating. They're still interrogating other people. But right now, when I'm standing in the Juvenile Justice Board's premises, the minor accused will be in the remand till next 14 days because remand has extended by the Juvenile Justice Board. So
yes,
after treating the adult, then will be the charge sheet will be filed in the whole case. But right now we can say 14 days of remand has been extended by this court.
Okay, Omkar, thank you very much for getting us that huge update. Unbelievable. The bribe paid for the swapping of the blood samples of the underage Porsche driver happened at the Juvenile Justice Board, and the Pune police has CCTV footage to prove it, reports Omkar Wable, who you've just heard. We will continue to report on this story. Meanwhile, more big revelations pouring in on the sensational murder case that has exploded in Karnataka involving superstar actor Darshan and his partner Pavitra. Sources tell India Today that Darshan, the actor who has already been arrested for the murder of Renuka Swami, a man aged 33 years old, the employee of a pharmacy, Darshan apparently visited the shed where Renuka Swami died on the evening of June the 8th, the day of the murder. The police believe this is almost conclusive evidence of involvement. Renuka Swami, the victim, was attacked before Darshan arrived at the garage. The motive is not clearly known right now. The perpetrators who killed this young man, Renuka Swami, with the intention of impressing the actor Darshan, is what sources in the investigation team are telling India Today at this point of time. The accused Pavan then informed Darshan that Renuka Swami was dead and took 30 lakh rupees in cash to manage the situation. These are pieces of information that are coming out from the investigation team and are the subject matter of investigation. I want to go across live to India Today's Anaga Kesha for more. Anaga, this story is getting murkier and murkier with each passing moment, but it looks like, at least as far as the information coming out from the investigation, Darshan is pretty much nailed. If he visited that shed shortly after the crime was committed, the police probably believe that they have everything they need.
Well, Shiv, as we've been mentioning throughout our coverage, the accused have confessed to the police during the interrogation that everything was done at the behest of Darshan. In fact, they've even mentioned that both Darshan and his second wife, Pavitra Gowda, both of them were there at the shed, and the first hit, the first punch on the victim's face was given by Darshan. Post that, Pavitra Gowda was also there at the spot. She was also a witness, and that's why she's been mentioned as A1 in the whole fiasco. She's A1 and Darshan is A2. After that, both Darshan and Pavitra Gowda, they left the shed by 5 p.m. And remember, at this time, the victim, Renuka Swami, was still alive. But after that, the other 9 accused, they have thrashed the victim, Renuka Swami, in this, in this 1 hour gap from 5 to 6:30 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. That is when Renuka Swami was brutally thrashed by all the accused. And by 6:30 a.m. Shiv, early morning on 9th of June, that was when Renuka Swami has breathed his last. Post that, his body was just disposed of somewhere, with the police inspector also being a witness to this whole case. After that, few dogs have picked up his body, they've eaten up his nose. close, brutally, disfigured his face.
Yes.
And there we are. Darshan is now in A2. He is getting grilled by the Bengaluru police. In fact, today he was taken to the spot, to the exact shed where he was for spot inquest. Murkier details are coming out. We need to wait and watch what more is going to come out of this whole fiasco. Was there more to this? Was there any other reason? Or was it only because he made some lewd comment about his second wife?
We've got more breaking news coming in. Anaga, stay with me. The victim, the man who was killed and who Darshan is being blamed for, more revelations are coming out about him. The victim, Renuka Swami, was allegedly kidnapped at 11 a.m. on the 8th of this month, 8th of June, from Chitradurga by the accused Raghavendra and his team. Raghavendra, remember, and his team have already been arrested. The accused were present at the shed with the victim. Darshan and his partner Pavitra Gowda entered the shed around 5 p.m. The other accused allegedly brutally assaulted Renuka Swami again in front of Darshan in order to impress him. Now, what this enmity is about, beyond some alleged lewd messages being sent or some WhatsApp calls being made, is not known clearly right now to trigger a murder. But the accused apparently threw Renuka Swami against the wall and the floor in the actor's presence, according to sources in the investigative team. Darshan, the superstar actor, and his partner Pavitra Gowda left the shed around 5:30 p.m. on the same day, which means they were there for around half an hour. Renuka Swami, the victim, was apparently alive but grievously injured when Darshan left the shed. So he was still alive when Darshan allegedly left the shed. He apparently died about an hour later in that same shed after Darshan and Pavitra had left. Absolutely blood-curdling details, Anaga, emerging in this case, suggesting that Darshan and Pavitra were in that shed while this man was being brutalized and receiving the injuries that killed him. That's what sources are telling you.
Well, Shiv, like you mentioned, it's absolutely inhumane, the manner in which Renuka Swami was murdered. We even learned through our sources that Renuka Swami's wife is actually pregnant. She's pregnant now as we speak, Shiv. And it's been less than a year since he was married to his wife. It was a love marriage is what we are being told. And then right now, his wife is pregnant. Truly a shocking news. In fact, we also learned through our sources in Chitradurga that the family is still in denial mode. The mother especially, she's unconsolable. The wife is devastated. The father is just not able to speak a word. Truly bone-chilling details are coming out. When we took a look at the picture, the way in which he was murdered, Shiv, his mouth was ripped open to the point where we can actually see his skull. That's the kind of gory details that we are talking about. It takes a special kind of inhumaneness to kind of stoop to the level that Darshan and his bodyguards have stooped down to. And mind you, and those bodyguards and his gang, they bet Renuka Swami even more just so they could impress their boss, Darshan. I know as he's so fondly, known as D-Boss. Just to impress him, they went on, brutally thrashed him. They could have been possibly drunk is what we are hearing. But more details are yet to come out in this case.